In the work files, open the project 8A. So far, our basic workflow has been to set in and out points in the viewer, then to arrange and rearrange those clips like building blocks in the timeline. That's known as a rough edit, and while it may establish the majority of frames that end up in your final output, and even determine the narrative sense of your sequence, it's the final phase of editing, called trimming, that often has the greatest effect stylistically and psychologically. Simply put, a trim edit is when you extend or shorten the length of a clip, which might not sound like a big deal, but fine-tuning your edit points is all about timing, and timing is one of the most powerful tools you have as an editor. The great Russian director Andrei Tarkovsky said filmmaking is the art of sculpting in time, and that's what you do with trimming tools. It's the fine detail work, sculpting your sequence right down to fractions of a second, even to individual frames. Before we get into the tools specifically designed for trimming, let's look at some basic timeline techniques for selecting and modifying edit points. You can select an edit point by clicking on it, or hit the G key for the Edit Selection tool, and click or drag over an edit point. Hit A for the Selection tool, and click the background to deselect. Now click in the timeline ruler about 2/3 of the way through the middle clip. When the playhead is over a clip, you can select the nearest edit point by hitting the V key. Now hit Shift left arrow 3 times so you're closer to the beginning of the clip. Now hit the V key. Once an edit point is selected, you can use the up arrow or down arrow keys to select the next or previous edit. Final Cut lets you select only one edit point per track, but you can select more than one edit point if they are on different tracks, by command-clicking with the default selection tool, or with the Edit Selection tool. Hit Command-Shift-A to deselect, and drag the Leaves MOS clip into the clear at the end of the sequence, and hit Command-plus to zoom in. In previous lessons, we learned how to move a clip by selecting it and hitting Option left arrow or Option right arrow to nudge the clip in 1-frame increments. Shift Option right arrow and Shift Option left arrow to nudge the clip by the multi-frame trim size set in User Preferences in the Editing tab. The default is 5 frames. And we saw how to move a selected clip by entering a numeric timecode value. Well, all of these techniques work with selected edit points as well. Select the out point of the Leaves MOS clip, and hit Option right arrow 5 times to extend it 5 frames. Now hit Shift Option left arrow to shorten it 5 frames. Now, extend it 2 seconds by typing 2, period, and hitting Return. In previous lessons, you've already performed basic trim edits by dragging an edit point in the timeline to lengthen or shorten a clip. But there's a great shortcut for this in Final Cut, called an Extend Edit. Just select the edit point you want to modify, position the playhead, and hit the E key. As long as the clip has enough handle length, the clip is extended to the playhead position. You can use the Extend Edit command to shorten a clip as well. The command is also found in the Sequence menu. Okay, we've seen how these trims work on a clip in the clear, but you don't harness the full power of trimming until you apply these techniques on adjacent clips, when you're modifying the out point of one clip and the in point of another simultaneously. Let's try it. Hit Shift-Z to fit the sequence to the window. Select the edit point between the first and second clips in the timeline, and nudge the edit point by hitting Option left arrow a few times. Each time you use the shortcut, you're shortening the first clip and extending the second, while the combined duration of the 2 clips remains the same. Now try Shift Option left arrow. This time, type 2, period, and hit Return. We've extended the first by 2 seconds and shortened the second by the same amount. Now type -3, period, and hit Return. Now scrub the playhead forward and hit the E key for an Extend Edit. Drag the Leaves MOS clip on top of the Night Lights clip. Use the down arrow key to go to the edit point between the Night Lights clip and the Snow clip. select the out point of the leaves clip on track 2 and hit the E key. Now, Command-click the edit point beneath it. Both points are now selected. Type 1 period and hit return. You've seen that these shortcuts work with multiple edits on multiple tracks. Drag the leaves clip out of the way. As you can see, the 3 remaining clips all have linked audio. Selecting the edit point of one of the linked tracks automatically selects the other. What if we wanted to use these trimming shortcuts on only one of the linked tracks? You could unlink the tracks with Command-L, turn link selection off with Shift-L, or the button in the upper right of the timeline. But the fastest way, and often the safest, is to simply Option-click the edit point you want to modify. Click the background to deselect, and Option-click the video edit point between the first and second clips. As it does with selecting entire clips, Option-clicking an edit point temporarily turns link selection off. Let's type -2 period and hit return. This creates a split edit, and when you select the entire clip, linking is preserved. Let's try Option-clicking the audio edit point between clips 2 and 3. Scrub the playhead back about a second and hit the E key. In the next lesson, we'll start exploring Final Cut Pro's specialized trimming tools.